A few more hours of cleaning and throwing junk away. And here's a transmission. You can see it's pretty rusty up in there. I did find a shifter for it. I set it here to neutral and kind of got the arms on it. I don't think the shifter was ever on this transmission. It's an old Hurst, but I did get it to where it's got first and second, third and fourth, and I can get it over. And this reverse moves. I might have to modify that a little so it'll clear. But anyway, this tail shaft here, it's got quite a bit of play in it, but the gears are all working. So I think there's supposed to be a bushing or something in here. I don't think it's supposed to be that loose. Maybe it is, I don't know. It's been a long time since I worked on these things, but at least it's all here, and I can pull this cover off of here and sort of see what's going on. If it's obviously if it's broken gears or anything like that. I think it's fairly cheap to rebuild these. At least I didn't have to buy this shifter. I found one for like $100, but it had no linkage. So anyway, I got the linkage and stuff here, and dogs and our little arms, and so I'll have to clean up these numbers here, see what kind of transmission this really is. I don't know how to determine, but I look on the internet, and we got another dash over here I dug out. I don't know what this one is, but there's a VIN number on it. Pretty rough. I can't see any reason for using it. Maybe the pad or something's good. The drive line is awfully rusty. I don't know what that tire is, junk. But there's another 10 or 15 gallons of trash I got out of the back of this. I can kind of throw all that shit back in there and hopefully not junk the place up so bad. Anyway, we have a shifter and a transmission, and I did see a pressure plate and a flywheel on the car, so I didn't see any mounts or anything. Cross member. We've got a inspection cover here. For some reason they got a big old chain and an axle in here. So anyway, one more piece I don't have to find. Let's see if I can throw all this shit back in here and clean up my mess. Well, here's a transmission. This shifting arm here looks good. The synchros look good. They're not all chewed up. This arm, yeah, see, it's been it's chewed up pretty good. It's worn here. Both sides of this are kind of worn. Might work, but really needs to be replaced. And this is think that's probably first and second. But when I move this shaft here, see, you can see this going back and forth inside there. Now I'm pretty sure this has a pilot bearing or like a roller bearing or something that goes into this input shaft. That might be bad. There's something out of whack there. But anyway, I rotated it all through the gears. There's no broken gears. This one here don't look, looks like it's kind of chewed up a little, but I don't see why it wouldn't work right. And so anyway, I think there's a bearing that goes down into the input shaft. That shouldn't do that. Either that or there's some kind of bearing in here. Something's worn out at any rate, and I need one shifting fork. I don't know for sure which one it is. Second, third, or first, second, or second to third. Most likely first to second. But the doesn't have any oil in it. That rear synchro kind of looks chewed up a little. That's probably first gear. Yeah, it's chewed pretty good. Third and fourth looks fine. So that's first to second. Now somebody's been just really power hammering away on it. And they chewed up the shift fork. And kind of trashed the synchro right there. So I could probably get another synchro. I have to take it apart. I don't have any fluid in it, and it had some little silicone stuff fell out of the bolts. So obviously somebody's been in this thing. But I can clean up that shaft. It's probably pretty good. This one here too, it looks like it's been leaking, but the seal will get a rebuild kit for it. Put all the new gaskets in it. Have to take it apart and find out what kind of transmission it is. I think it's a Borg Warner. I'm not sure. T10 something 68. So that's what this is a 68. I don't know. I'm not been a long time since I worked on these old transmissions, but I'll figure out what it is and then clean it up good here on the outside, take it apart and see what's missing, and then I'll know what to do to fix it. But no gears or anything are broken, and it seems to be shifting alright. So probably just some bearings and synchros and seals. It'll probably be just fine. Well, we're moving on here with the Roadrunner. This gasket's trashed. I took it off, looked down in there. It's pretty clean. It's got these old not anodized, corroded valve covers on it. There were a couple more of these tin ones here. I got that old one off. Looks like there's a little rust on a couple of the lifters. Not particularly dirty or anything inside. I'm gonna blow this all out with air and squirt some oil on it before I try to start it. The other side there, I haven't got to it. It was just full of silicone. That's what the valve cover looked like. Looked like they had plenty of leaks, so they tried to silicone it up. I don't know if it leaked or not. Don't look like it, but I'm not gonna. These old weigh-in curlers, I may try a little something on them, but basically I'm not going to worry about this too much. Don't know how much of this last little video got on here, but what I did was pull off these old Moroso valve covers, or whatever they are. I got some tin ones here that are pretty good shape. The valves don't look too bad. There's no dirt or anything in it, but I got new gaskets and everything coming for that. I'll try to clean up this motor best I can. Maybe even try to paint it. Kind of hate to even try to waste time doing that if it ain't gonna start, but it was supposed to run, so I'll take off these old weigh-in. They're pretty chewed up, and here's one of them here, and it looks like they used a whole tube of silicone on this thing. But anyway, I don't see that it's particularly bad. It's been setting for a long time, of course 20 years or so. That master cylinder there is leaking into the floorboard, so I got to pull it out and rebuild it. I need to measure the size of it to make sure I get the right kit for it. Just trying to move on here. First thing is try to get this motor started. Basically all I was doing is waiting on my gaskets and my rebuild kit for the carburetor, and first thing I'll do, I got a new filter on it that's cleaned up. Put some oil on it, check it, make sure we get oil to the top end without the plugs in it, and then I'll put plugs in it and figure out the distributor. I have to machine a end on the distributor for it. I just happen to have a couple old 318 distributors. They're basically just too long, but should fit this. Well, here's the manifold. I got it pretty well cleaned up, wire brushed it, and washed it. Here's the old holly I got. It's kind of heavy for 2 fingers. Let's see if it's going to fit on here. Yep, fits right on there. So I think I got it on backwards, but that's a matching carburetor, and for this year of car, and I got a rebuild kit, so I'm going to rebuild that carburetor. Just paint that manifold black. I'm not going to try doing anything fancy right now. Maybe later paint it Chrysler blue or something. I don't know what color it's supposed to be, but pretty much everything's black. I'm just going to paint it this black too. There's our new fancy gasket set. Those gold covers look nice on there. And it's a lot of work to try to clean those up. Anyway, I'll I'm just going to clean up much as I can around there where I brushed all the loose paint. At least paint those heads and stuff black. Try to make it look pretty good before I put that manifold and stuff on it, just in case it's okay. I won't have to try to do it again. Well, here's my manifold ready to go on. It had a couple of these flat plates across there. It only had one. So anyway, I made another one. And the gasket, it's got a gasket on each side of it. You can tell here it's sandwiched. And so I put that on yesterday and put a lot of silicone in it and bolted it down. And then today I rethreaded all of these manifold bolts. And I got some new grade 8 stuff. So now I can put the manifold on it and torque it down, and that'll be the end of this. I blew all of the stuff out I could reach there with air around the rocker arms. Anyway, I ordered some blue paint for the manifold. I'll try to get the front of this motor and stuff. But for now, I just painted that black, flat black. Try to put it on and torque it in. Well, there it is. All torqued up. 40 foot-pounds. It looks like it went down pretty good. Bolts are all straight. I've got one over here that had a helicoil in it, and it's halfway out. I'll try to do something with that. But basically that's it for the now on the manifold. That's in. I gotta rebuild the carburetor. Waiting for gaskets and stuff. And see what I can do here. It looks pretty good with the gold and the anodized grade 8 bolts. Good enough for this old junk motor. And I think that flat black will probably be a pretty decent primer. It's engine enamel, so when we get the blue, we'll try to clean up all the stuff and paint it. Anyway, it doesn't cycle on the manifold. Here's a carburetor that we're going to be rebuilding. Goes in this old Roadrunner here. I've made a couple other videos. I had a Oldsmobile motor with dual Edelbrock carburetors. This is a 68 carburetor. I got it off eBay for like 90 bucks or something like that. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. It's got these blue gaskets in it, which are supposed to be multiple use gaskets. It's not really in bad shape at all. Everything's pretty free, but I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm just gonna throw it in the carburetor cleaner and make a little video here of what's going on. We got 2 fuel bolts, and probably everybody's made a million of these, but on these the Edelbrocks have air screws that goes in the front. These got metering blocks. This is the second part. Let me pull it apart a little more.
Anyway, it's got 4 screws in it. This is the float ball. Looks pretty good. Not really rusted or anything. This thing here is a power valve, and it has a jet in it. It looks like that's a new power valve. It's got some a little bit of smoke in it. The 2 idle screws are on each end of it here. And they adjust how much air gets mixed into it for idle. Then it goes on to the main body there. It's got a rod here. It's not a rod, it's a pipe. This takes fuel from the front bowl to the back bowl. The back bowl comes off, looks very similar to the front. I'll show you in a second. The 2 main jets are these 2 jets right here. This has a power valve in it, so when it's under vacuum, this regulates how much fuel goes into the thing from vacuum. To tune them, you just put in stronger or weaker valves here. Now this is a vacuum secondary. This is the vacuum chamber that opens and closes the back barrels. Let me yank that back thing off there. This piece here is accelerator pump. You just take it off, throw it in the soup. It looks like somebody put a carburetor kit in here, as this is actually probably still workable. But this is very, very old. These seals are all real stiff. It's got a spring here that goes in there, and I pulled the valve out. It looks like that out of here. This is how you adjust the fuel level. It looks like I don't have to break that down any further. It's got a little stop or a circlip right there that holds this in. I don't have to worry about that. I'll just put that in there as it is. I'll jerk this one off, and look at that. Okay, I pulled that off. It's worth mentioning here, these little white washers are some kind of pre-antholic or plastic. These are aftermarket. Means they can be used several times. So I'll throw them in there. We've got another blue gasket. These also are supposed to be reusable. Oh, this one here is kind of soft. The other one just tore apart. So somebody put a new kit in this, you know, from the feel of everything years ago. And here's their 2 back main jets. And we got the same setup here. I'll pull that valve out, pull these jets out, and throw them in the soup. Yeah, this one come off. Part of the gasket stuck on the carburetor here, and I tried to pull it on it. It's pretty hard, so I'll dig that off with a screwdriver, and I'll throw this secondary metering block in the soup. And then we have to pull this secondary diaphragm off of here. This is what opens the back 2 barrels. But the carburetor looks real good. I think a few minutes in the chem dip and blow it out. I don't know. I don't think this is going to go into that can. What I did last time was just put the carburetor body in an oil pan and soaked it that way. But anyway, let me get this finished taken apart and see if I can get it in there. Well, this one come apart fairly good. It was really stuck on here, so I'd rather than try to scrape it and scratch up this thing, you want to be real careful you don't kill some of these surfaces or put gouges in it with a big screwdriver. So I'm just going to soak this a while. Maybe that gasket will come off there. My little can's getting full. And then I'll go ahead and disassemble this. I could take this body, this throttle plate body off of here. It's got about 6 screws in it, holds it onto the bottom. I may do that so I can get that main carburetor body into the can. Well, I got that off of there. Feels pretty good. I should have a diaphragm in the other kit, but I won't take that apart for right now. This is like a vacuum pull-off thing. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it's a vacuum operated thing that operates part of this back barrel. So they're kind of stuck. They're moving freely. So this carburetor is in pretty good shape. It was bone dry. I think somebody probably rebuilt it, took all the fuel out of it and put it on a shelf for 10 or 15 years. But it's pretty old. Anyway, got this done. This stuff's been in here about 10 or 15 minutes. I'll kind of clean it out, blow it off, and hose it down with water and try to get this body into the soup. Now we're moving on here with the motor. I had some gold tin caps on. They were clean. They look pretty good. And then today, but I didn't have any gaskets, and I wanted to turn it over and pump oil through it. So I just kind of half-assed wire brushed these old weigh-in covers, and they had big old thick gasket and a lot of silicone on it, and all I needed just enough to keep the motor from running down the headers like I got there. When it's running, I finished up that carburetor. I still have one more gasket here. That kit didn't come with just one gasket. I can make that work. The bolts stuck up way too high out of the manifold, I thought. So I put a 3/4 inch spacer in it. It's almost too high. Looks like I can only get a couple threads on the studs. I might have to take the studs out a little bit. This little 318 distributor, I just kind of clamped it down in there, and it's turning the oil pump and everything. Pumping good. Got 50-60 pounds of oil back at the gauge. Don't see nothing leaking. No, and in here I'm looking at this. This is my alternator. I got this as stock one, and I put it on there, and it's on the inside, pulley on the bottom. And I cleaned up the water pump. I ran it in the lathe quite a while, make sure it was oiled just best I could and free. So looks like I got to make a spacer between the head and that side of the Magic electric maker. And I got a regulator for it. This is electronic one, but it's made to look like the originals. I don't know where to go. I go down here somewhere, and I can wire that up. And I've got a good main battery wire here for the thing, and I don't have one over there for
for the main power of the battery. Should go into the harness somewhere, I would think. Anyway, here's Mr. Roadrunner. I ran the battery until it was dead. Probably got a little bit more juice in it now. And you can hear it hit the oil pump. And then it looks like it's bouncing around about, Jesus, according to this, about 60, 70, 80 pounds of pressure. Well, that's good. That front pulley's got a little dent in it. So I'm glad the belt is on the back. And carburetor, I got it all cleaned up and oiled, and it works real free, and all the jets are clean. I lost one, so I put two in it, and I couldn't find these O-rings for this fuel tube. Well, I could, but they're expensive. I had to wait. So I got some late style ones. I could get one end, but I had to cut the other end of this tube off to get the other one in. So, but I think it's good enough for 6-7 pounds of pressure. And then I'll have to, got a fuel pump coming. It'll probably get mounted in the back, and I'll have to figure out where the fuel line is. It's probably over on this side. Because that's where the old fuel pump was. Yeah. I don't know, anyway, I'll figure that out. I gotta make another bracket for this, because it's only just got this one bolt in it right now, no way of tightening it and holding it tight. And it looks like the wires are pretty straightforward back there. I just put 2 bolts in it here. I had a heck of a time finding bolts, but I rethreaded those and everything. They're real good. And I don't know how much oil is pumped in there. This one side was just squirting it out. You see it up all over the hinge there. Yeah, it was oiling good. So anyway, that's some cleaning oil with some of this Rizlo and the engine treatment. It's supposed to clean shit out. And I pumped over, lubricated it good. Make sure everything's all working good. I got my fingers crossed on that carburetor. Who knows, these weigh-ins are not too bad looking. Whole motor's going to be blue, so I think they could be painted blue and then sanded off on the ridges there. Make it look real nice. Don't know, we'll see. Anyway, sold my little thing.